Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Early Watch. I'm Jimmy, and with us, as always, Mr. Tony York.
Morning, folks. What the fuck is that supposed to be our tombstones?
You know,
One, I don't want to fucking be buried anywhere near you, and two, I don't want to be buried at all.
yeah, it is expensive. Very expensive to be buried. Burning is also expensive, but it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, burn me and dump my ashes in some fucking wood somewhere. I'm not even super particular where.
Yeah, I told my wife when I go, just fucking, like, act like you don't know me. Like, push me outside, just let the coroner get me. They'll burn me for free. You don't get to keep my ashes, but the burning is free.
Hey, that ain't actually a bad plan.
If I croak, just nudge me out to the front fucking yard. Somebody will pick me up.
Although you'll probably end up in a fucking landfill.
Dr. Frankenstein picks me up. That would be cool to come
Oh,
back.
the coroner ain't storing all them fucking ashes.
No, hell no. They dump them. I'll get to go
Right, landfill.
live my afterlife in a garbage dump. Probably get reburnt again. Part of me, at least.
But yeah. Our landfill, which I drive by taking the old lady to work, has a fucking methane burner on site. So there's a fucking, looks like about an 18-inch diameter burner that's like 20 feet in the air that's always fucking on fire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember we went
Kind of cool.
by. I'm trying to remember where it was. It was in Illinois, but where it was, though. I want to say it was off of like fucking. Obviously, it was Cook County. I want to say it was off of like Cermak Road, or it was on some. It was somewhere, but there was a landfill, and that motherfucker. Every time you drove past, it smelled like plastic, burning plastic, and shit, and it was just the worst.
Yep.
But yeah, cook me and recook me. I'll be fine. Well, I'll be
There's
dead.
nothing grim, DJ.
No, yeah. Nothing
Fuck,
grim.
everybody's gonna die.
Nothing grim except the Reaper. What the fuck?
Oh, I finished up my Christmas shopping last night, so
What'd
that's a
you?
good thing. Usually we shop throughout the year. But this year, when that fucking house went up, there wasn't extra money left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I think.
So
What was it last week? Most of the shit gets ordered online, so I think we finished like last week or something like that. I'm pretty sure we're good.
the only fuck up is the second youngest granddaughter is going to get a sit and spin from us. The lady told me. So I ordered it last night. And she said, I ordered one the other day. Been fucking nice if she told me. So I guess I'll have a sit and spin to play with.
That's that's always fun. I guess we lost Tony. He's
Yeah.
gonna be on this fucking sit and spin for the rest of these days.
Well, if I get on it, I'll be unlikely to get back off.
Oh Lord. Oh shit. Yeah, we did I did the fucking, speaking of dying, I did the fucking what the fuck is it called? Crave cookie this weekend. Holy shit, man. I cannot, for some reason, do a lot of sugar like I used to, like a couple years ago. I'm getting
Well, that would
headaches,
be a good thing.
fucking. Well, yeah, I get. I mean, yeah, I guess it's my body telling me, "Hey, stop it. You should have already learned your lesson. Stop it." But I didn't learn my lesson yet. And to be honest with you, next weekend I'm probably gonna forget the lesson and go do it again. But yeah, I'm having a fucking sugar hangover. For some reason, whenever I eat like shit the next day, it almost feels like I'm drunk in a bad way. Hungover drunk, not happy fucking drunk.
I gotta tell you, I'm getting to where I can't hardly do salty stuff. Now, I salt my food that I eat, but like to eat potato chips and shit, I yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey,
Hey, hey, what's up, DJ? What's up, Oz? Sorry, I wasn't in the chat. We were talking about our after death plans. I got caught up in that shit. So me and Tone was talking a little bit before we like for maybe a good 60 and a half seconds. So I typed in gun news this morning just to do my last minute show prep, and all I seen was this Joe Biden pardons son Hunter over gun and taxes charges, and I didn't know what it was. Tony told me. Obviously, I stay out of the loop of that shit as much as possible. So for lying on his 4473, and then tax convictions. So Joe Biden pardons son Hunter of gun tax convictions despite promises he would not do so, claiming it was a miscarriage of justice. And I guess that's a quote. What was the miscarriage of justice? It actually worked this time. Like, hey, this time we actually got the guy that
yeah,
did
they
it.
actually got it. Uh, the two things, you know, I had no doubt that he was going to pardon. I really saw that coming. I wanted Trump to pardon just to see how everybody fucking reacted to that. But Biden pardoned him for those two charges and anything else he may have done.
Yeah, it was a complete.
So if he went in and slaughtered a fucking school full of kids, he got pardoned for that.
Yeah, no shit. Wait, that's just crazy shit to me, but I guess that's how it goes. I couldn't necessarily. Maybe being in that position, I would have to rethink it. But I mean, situations reversed, and it was my kid smoking crack on camera and lying on 4473s and avoiding taxes. I'm sure in that position of
Of course,
power,
we'd pardon him
yeah. I'm sure in that position of
because
power,
we don't think
everybody
he should have to
fucks.
pay taxes or
Well, yeah,
fill out a
everybody
4473 anyway.
everybody probably fucks off their taxes that are in politics. I'm sure they know the loopholes and know how to get around whatever they got to get around. And yeah, I says we all knew. Yeah, it was pretty obvious there.
Uh, Genuinely, I really had hoped that he wouldn't, and Trump,
I don't
because
see Trump
yeah,
doing it. I would see a completely opposite. If Trump did it, it's just like the whole taxes thing when versus Kamala versus Trump when they had the same plan and she was an angel and he was fucking the devil reincarnated. It'd have been like, oh, Trump pardoned a
but can
criminal, and you know what I mean?
you imagine the reactions though? I mean, I'd love to have seen that. Yeah, but this does, give Trump a free hand to pardon the January 6th guys. So
Yeah,
you say what the fuck?
like I was saying earlier, I don't know. That's an iffy one because then, I mean, I don't know if that would implicate him in the. I mean, we all know he didn't incite the shit, but I don't know. It seems like a lot
I
of
don't
other
think so.
people are stupid and have no idea what's going on and just listen to the first thing that fucking Facebook tells them or their local news. So I don't know.
Yeah. the thing is if he does it smartly. Say, given President Biden's pardon of his son due to it being political injustice, I feel the same way about these guys. And there's enough evidence, even be it circumstantial, that they should be pardoned.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I agree with
Of
that
course, the
totally.
left is going to shit on that, but he just got, 60s plus percent of the vote, so what the fuck?
Mm.
If he accomplishes half of what he hopes to, uh, the left is going to be out for at least 8 years.
Yeah. Well, I could see that too. Oz is saying Biden pardoned his son to end investigation in family crimes. Wasn't I believe somebody out there, or you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that when Biden was a senator, he was like staunchly against crack, and like that was his main focus was crack cocaine. And then it turns
Oh,
out that
yeah.
his son gets addicted to the same substance. Is that there's something fishy going on there? Or is that just maybe coincidental? Like, oh, my dad hates it, so I'm gonna go, rebellious kid. Yeah,
I, I think rebellious is a part of it, yeah.
I'm gonna show him. I'll
And
get addicted to crack.
he may have tried it to see what the fuck is the problem, young men are dumb like that.
Crack dumb though. That's God. That's that's a hell of a rebellious kid right there. Fuck.
Crack dumb in the what, fucking late 80s?
I believe I want to say the '80s. Yeah, I was but either just born or a seed still, but
Fucking country was swimming in cocaine.
well, yeah, that was the '80s was the whole disco era thing. So it had to be late '80s or something like that. Somebody, the CIA
Uh,
figured out
disco disco was late 70s.
into the '80s.
Not very much. It was dead by 81.
Was it? I don't know. I'm just going off of what I heard. I
Oh
just
yeah. Fuck, it was pretty much dead in 79.
what was the '80s then? Hair metal?
Hair metal.
Yeah. Okay. I
That really hit the ground running in the early wave of the new wave of British heavy metal with like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and shit. And then Motley Crue.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Cocaine kept everybody up in the late '70s to go disco dancing, and then fucking crack got them all hyped up for hair metal and shit. I guess I don't know, man. I don't know about
I think
drugs.
that crack hit the ground in the later part of the 80s as a way to cut it to dump it on fucking ghettos.
Yeah, the the greatest and worst thing the CIA ever did.
Now they pretty much refer to any amphetamine as crack,
Nah,
which,
meth is a different thing.
well, all right, they pretty much refer to any amphetamine as meth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The my how the
Hell,
drugs have changed.
I took Adderall for God 6 months prescribed,
Yeah, they tried to give me that when I
and
was a
once
kid.
once I got uh, generic, where it was an extended release, I was done. Fuck that. That you take one, they just hit you all at fucking once. You fucking get the jitters and the shakes, and no, that wasn't worth a fuck.
Yeah, it was supposed to help me focus or some shit like that. Thank God, one of the fucking good decisions that my mom made was to keep me off of that shit.
Actually, it did work pretty well. It worked for me, and it worked for my youngest daughter.
What were you? It was what, ADHD. I think that's what I had.
Me, it was just a reaction to the other fucking meds I was on. I was pretty much a walking fucking zombie. I was so fucking tired all of it. And the
Oh,
doctor gave me Adderall. And I
okay.
didn't get jacked up or nothing, but I was fully awake, clear, and I could perform my job and shit. But with that other shit, the generic version where it's not extended release, I was fucking blitzed for about an hour.
Yeah, I
And
guess
then it was back to being fucking exhausted.
it's weird how the fucking like chemicals in the body work. Because I guess it was supposed to be like calming for me. It was supposed to help me focus or something like that. I don't know. I never took it, so I don't know.
It worked for my youngest. And then, as she got a little older, she didn't need it. Once she went in the army, that shit was gone. Because the army is, fuck that. And getting that.
Yeah, this ain't.
Actually, she stopped taking it when she graduated.
Yeah, I can see the army and all the military having a problem with that because that would probably like conflict with their brainwashing or whatever the fuck, like however the fuck they do shit. I don't know if they still do that, but
Well, I suppose in specific description, yes. Although it's not like it was then because they have to be all PC and shit these days.
yeah, can't just
They wanted to
openly.
hammer soldiers down to where they were at a point where they could be convinced to follow directions without question, orders.
Yeah, no, you can't experiment on
And
these guys no more.
I kind of understand that idea, but
Well, yeah, I mean, you sign up to be a soldier. That's what you're gonna be, and to make you a good soldier, you got to be able to follow orders indiscriminately.
basically, I heard it described by somebody as saying they're teaching them all the life lessons that mommy and daddy didn't get around to
Yeah, and then
in six
some.
weeks.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still waiting for them to all come down dressed as fucking aliens for this fake invasion that's gonna be coming pretty soon here. They've been pushing aliens a lot. You know some shit's gonna fucking happen. What was it called? The
Well,
the CIA document thing was Project Bluebeam, where they were gonna like put an image of Jesus in the air or something like that.
I don't know what it was called.
We were talking about it a while ago, and I get all these damn projects, Project Paperclips, Blue Beams, MK Ultra, Murder
MK Ultra is
JFK.
easy. MK Ultra is pretty easy one. That was LSD.
Yeah, pretty much. They're just getting everybody
I
high
see
and
where I see where there's a fair group of people trying to get them to research hallucinogenics like that for soldiers who suffer PTSD. Because like 90% of the time it'll cure that shit.
yeah, or help them
Because
cup.
they're not using LSD. They're using other psychedelics.
Yeah,
But there's places in Mexico where you can go and they'll kind of do that in a controlled setting. And most of the soldiers that I've seen talk about it said it was a fucking life changing experience.
well, yeah, because isn't that supposed to help you like compartmentalize your brain? Like this is you over here, and then this is the new you, and this I don't know.
I'm not sure.
That's kind of what I understood when I was reading it, but those documents got confusing, and then there was a lot of redacted shit, and then can't forget how most of it coincidentally went up in a fire. So that's it's kind of crazy.
Well, the problem with that sort of stuff is that there's a certain segment that are barely able to grasp things now that this will fuck up permanently.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing too, is
How do you
that
sort that shit out?
well, yeah, and it's gonna cause people that already don't trust the government to trust them even less now, and people that do trust it, I don't know if they'll even read the shit or pay attention to any of the documents that come out. But like
Mr.
I said,
Bud,
hey, Fudd. But yeah, like I said though, it's just gonna fucking. I think I said this one of these shows that we had. It's just gonna cause more division, more fucking government distrust. Which I mean, everybody should have a fair amount of that in their brain already. But I don't know.
if it works on 90%, there's a 90% success rate.
Well, shit, I don't
How do
even.
you argue that?
Yeah, and I don't think that they even need. Well, yeah, you are right. But is it a 90% success rate just because part of them is okay? Like, do they still go home and cry in the bathroom, or like, you know what I mean? Like, do they still have a
No,
traumatized part of them?
none of them that I've seen speak on it have had any problems, residually speaking.
Hmm.
Said it fucking cured them.
I mean, it's just a part of me that just still has a problem believing that, like, they're told to say certain things and yada yada yada.
You're talking guys that were like fucking SEALs and special forces that I don't know that they could be told to say.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I believe that they're following orders till the end. I mean, you see some of these guys too, like with their, like the YouTube shorts that come on and shit, and people telling these bombastic stories about shit that probably may or may not have happened exactly the way that they said that it did, and like they love that shit. Following order, they live for following orders. Some of them. I'm not gonna generalize everybody, because there are some. Well, I would actually argue most people that sign up for military don't know what the fuck they're getting into.
Uh, you're probably right there.
But
When I went to sign up for the Air Force, my uncle who went to Vietnam, he said, "Don't do it."
yeah, yeah,
He
it
said, "I
could.
beg you not to do it."
That's my grandfather. He fought in Korea, and he told me never ever do it. And when I was in fucking Maryville, I was in the group home and shit. They had us do like JROTC programs, and then when they closed Maryville down, one of the first people besides like counselors and bullshit like that, and are you okay? Are you was a fucking recruiter for the army. I'm like, nah, I'll pass, thank you.
Pretty fortunate. I went out and got fucking smashed the night before we was doing the ASVAB and the physical.
Yeah,
I was still legally fucking hammered when they did my blood test. I don't know. It was later in the morning. I took the first part of the ASVAB in the morning, and I had a heart murmur. They said, "Can't. That's too severe of a heart murmur for you to be accepted in the Air Force or in the military." And you would have to get a specialist to say you could survive it. Fuck that.
yeah, I'm not going to see a fucking specialist. Fuck you. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, but it could have
And they
been
said,
us too. We could have been there, so I can't really talk too much shit.
I couldn't have never been a pilot in the Air Force, so fuck it. That's why I wanted to go.
See, I could see that being fun. That's probably one of the most dangerous ones and funnest ones.
Yeah, but we're talking going in '79, man. It wasn't super. There wasn't a lot of shit going on that you knew about.
Yeah. But still, though, you're a pilot. You might have got, like, signed over to Area 51 and do some of their testing shit or something like that. That'd have been cool. Tony, we
Oh, I
got this
think it would have
flying
been
saucer for
entertaining.
you.
You just have to think what you wanted to do. That would be a problem because I'd be like thinking, I wonder if I get this fucker to fly under the arch.
Hey, you know what, though? Speaking of that, you just reminded me of the fucking, another thing with Elon Musk. He's doing that Neuralink shit, man. That shit scares the fuck out of me, too. Putting your consciousness into a fucking AI and, like, I, I hate it.
He's his reasoning seems completely altruistic. So
I mean, it does, yeah, because one of them, they're doing, like, handicapped people, and I think the
right,
one thing that I saw was it was a paraplegic, and he was playing video games with his fucking mind. That's insane. It's insane. Which, I mean, I'm sure that that's
uh,
just like the surface of what that thing can do, but fucking
it's really not that far out there. If you think about it, you just got to be able to make the connection to the brain and decipher the brain's signal.
well, yeah. I mean, our DNA is almost like fucking coding anyway. Instead of zeros and ones, it's fucking what, A's and B's or letters. It's technically the same thing.
How long before they can map and rearrange that to make the young one growing in the womb exactly what you want.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
want the DNA for him to have a 12.5 inch dick.
8 foot tall, fucking yeah. That'd be, I don't know. That's just insane to me. It's crazy how far we've come with technology, and there's still a part of me that hates it. There's a part of me that loves it and
I,
thinks that it's fucking fantastic that we could, not only help people that are handicapped and can't do shit, but we could create life. That's cool, but at the same time, that's fucking scary as shit.
yeah, because knowing humans, how can this be misused?
Yeah, exactly. How could we fuck this up, or how could we use this to our own advantage and fuck it up? How could it be fucked up? And playing God, man. I mean, we talk about AI and watching the Terminator movies and all that shit. I mean, playing God has never turned out well in movies either.
No, and the thing of it is the whole AI thing. I don't know how anybody can miss the fact that this fucking shit's going to decide that we're causing all the fucking problems on Earth and need to be exterminated.
Uh, be-
That's fucking absolute logic.
because humans are arrogant and we probably don't think that we're the ones causing the problem. I'm just saying we as a generalized statement. Obviously, me and you know that we're the problems, but fucking yeah, the AI is gonna definitely turn on us one day. I wholeheartedly believe that. Somebody clip this and keep it as a fucking memento, because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, funny thing is we'll probably be in the first group to be killed off too.
And if
Got to
you're
shut them fuckers up.
so so follow me on this. If you can be hooked up to a Neuralink and your brain can be connected to an AI and you can control it, if it's an AI, what's gonna stop it from like turning the tables? You know what I'm saying? Like having some fucking guy that's using the Neuralink for his own whatever, to use his hands or whatever the fuck, and it takes control
I
of him
think
and he
that
kills his family or some
for
shit.
I think that for the moment AI will not be able to comprehend how devious humanity can be.
No, I think we're safe for a
You
few
know, because
years.
it's still a difference engine at this point. Uh, if it actually acquires sentience, I fucking don't know.
Better keep our fingers crossed. 'Cause I don't
Everybody
know.
buy a fucking electromagnetic pulse weapon.
Yeah, some sort of a plasma rifle of sorts. Yeah. But in positive Elon Musk news, though, Smith and Wesson did thank him for supporting free speech amid what they're calling attacks against the First and Second Amendments. I think the whole
Oh,
Constitution
they
is
thanked
under.
him for getting them back on Twitter.
Yeah, that's all. That's yeah. Thanks for not blocking and banning us. That's cool.
You got to give Booker credit though, man. He made a real First Amendment looking stand.
Oh yeah. I
Not
mean,
saying not saying that that's why he did it, but he's saying that's why he did it.
I think, well, okay, part of me wants to believe because as we established last week, I'm still a fan ish, if you want to call it that or consider it that, of Elon. I think everything that he's doing, this is just my opinion. I think everything that he's doing is good-hearted and in good nature, but I mean, isn't that how all the worst things always start?
Yeah,
That's what
and
scares
all
me.
those stories you read or hear, it hell's paved with the way to hell is paved with good intentions.
Meh. I was just saying I could agree with that. I was just saying after Vietnam, the military wasn't as popular, but that's because I mean they had everybody, all those anti-war protesters and all that shit, and people were kind of
Well,
open
Nam
and
was a fucking shit show too.
oh yeah, and that listen, as much as I've talked shit and I'm still kind of on the fence, so don't take me as like an anti-military guy at all. Um, I do believe we need a military, but I just I there's taken our kids, the younger generation, younger men, and now women, and now question mark. They're taking everybody. Um, but we're getting involved. Like I mean, imagine if we get involved in this Ukraine thing. This shit has nothing to fucking do with us. It would be as if we had a civil war and fucking Spain came over and picked the South or picked the North or you know what I mean? It's kind of just like we don't got shit to do with that. But
Well, except we're supplying them with all the fucking weapons to kill Russians.
well, yeah, which I believe was a huge mistake. A bunch of money wasted. All that money they printed to send over there could have been used here. And I don't even want to get started
Now,
with the
there
housing
wasn't so
illegals.
much fucking money printed to go over. There's money printed to replace the old ass weapons we gave them or are giving them.
Yeah.
All this technology that they got, these missiles and shit, are old. And we're just like, fuck it, here, have them. We'll print up a bunch of money, buy new stuff.
Yeah. Get some updated modern shit. But
I
nonetheless.
don't know that I understand Biden's thinking on doing this shit right now. Uh, unless it's just a fuck you to the country.
Yeah. One last middle finger.
I
After a.
don't think Biden is super opposed to Trump. I mean, if you look at the meeting at the White House, Biden fucking tickled to death to sit there with Trump. I watched the video of him doing the fucking MAGA hat thing.
I'm sure they were buddies in the 90s and the early 2000s. Not as close as Trump was to the
Biden
Clintons
looked
and the Bushes, but
Biden looked genuinely pleased to have that MAGA hat on and get to cheers from the audience.
It was about the only
It was
time he got
fucking
cheered.
bizarre. Well, yeah, and he got fucked over by good by his party. So I think there's a lot of fuck you going on that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but Biden, if you ask me, though, he's a fool for even thinking that he was going to be anything other than a fucking face for the Democrats. I mean, there's no way that his decision making would go very far. He's just a
Well, and
puppet like the rest of them.
the fact that he broke his word when he started to run the second term because he said he wasn't going to.
Yeah, but we all saw that didn't that didn't
Yeah,
make it
well,
past the
yeah.
first debate.
What do you think's the chance that somebody's going to bring up changing the presidential uh, limit on term length
Oh, I'm surprised they didn't do that whole. Who was talking
with
about it?
Obama?
Yeah, what that was it. Yeah, where they were gonna just let him be. What was it? The 25th Amendment. They were gonna repeal.
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's 25th.
Yeah.
The 25th is the one that they could use to kick Biden out.
Oh, maybe I don't know. I remember it was 20 something. 28th. Is there
I
that
don't
many?
know. What the hell was the amendment that did prohibition? Because it probably would have been like the third one after that.
No, that was okay. That
I don't.
was they proposed the 28th Amendment. That was Newsom's proposed 28th Amendment, which seeks to reverse the devastating trends, protect the rights of responsible gun owners, and most importantly, save lives by finally turning these critical gun safety measures into law. 27?
Fucking stupid son of a bitch.
27 amendments. I bet you
Like he says,
somebody
he
already.
believes what Biden is doing is giving the middle finger to the Democrat Party. I really think that Biden voted for Trump.
So the 27th is any change to the salary of a member of Congress can only take effect after the next election of House of Representatives.
Which is every 2 years.
Yeah. 26. 26 lowered the voting age. So it had to be 20. What was the 25th you said? That was what they were going to use to get Obama out? Establishes presidential successions and procedures for addressing presidential. Yeah, they were going to repeal the 25th Amendment, I think, right?
I honestly don't know.
Oh, no, the 25th is in case of the removal of president from office or of his death or resignation, the vice president shall become president. Because I thought the 23rd Amendment was the prohibition thing. Let me see. We're almost there.
I don't pay that close attention to the amendments after like five.
Yeah, the Bill of Rights is good enough for me. Um, 24 abolishes and forbids the federal and state government from imposing taxes on voters during federal elections. Fucking, you know what? I got a better way to Google this instead of just going down the list. Let's see the term limits amendment. 22nd Amendment. There you go. All right. Yeah. No person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice. So that's what they were trying to get rid of.
Right. Do you think there'll be rumblings of that at the end of Trump's term if he does well?
Well, that's one of the things that I'm hearing like during all these freakouts of Trump and shit is that he's going to be a dictator now all of a sudden. He didn't try to do it his first presidency, but his second term, he's going to try to be a dictator.
Well, in one interview or speech, he said he would be a dictator for one thing when he first got into office. He actually said it. And they're blowing it way out of proportion because, he wants to restart the drilling of oil and Keystone Pipeline.
Yeah, so we wouldn't have to go and fucking fuck with people in the Middle East and all the other shit. And I think Trump seems like he's just trying to keep everything in house. American shit, America. That we're gonna get our own American oil. We're gonna have American companies. We're gonna have American workers. I think he's it. To me, anyway, is what it
America
seems.
first.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess if you go by my logic for all the other shit that I was just talking about, fucking Musk and everything, with everything starts with good intentions. I mean, I guess what I forgot what the fuck it was, if it was all the way in Revelations or what, but about the Antichrist coming as our friend and our savior and all this other shit, and then turning
Well,
on a second term. Shit. No, I'm just joking. I don't think Trump is an antichrist. Be kind of funny though. I mean, not the after effect. That wouldn't be funny, but
well, he really didn't come in as a friend.
well, no, he came in as kind of like a fuck you to the established establishment.
Yeah. You can't hardly overlook the, you know, Trump serving himself in a lot of this stuff because, lower taxes will benefit him greatly.
Everything will, even
But
especially even keeping things in house and in America. That's gonna benefit him as well.
yeah, and that's what I say, he's bona fide in his thinking because, what tends to benefit things he wants benefits everybody.
Yeah.
Well, except for those who want to game the system.
Which I mean, it's I don't know, man. I could sit here and complain
I'll
about the
tell you
way things
what,
are all day, but it's just I don't know.
if
Tell
you
me.
haven't listened to the Joe Rogan interview of,
Walls?
no, not Walls, Vance,
Yeah, I know. I was just fucking with you.
do yourself a favor and invest the time to listen to that. JD Vance is a pretty impressive dude.
I'm scrolling through my YouTube to see if there's anything Joe Rogan I could click on. But all I see I don't even look up. Let me remind everybody here. I stay far and fucking wide away from politics and news and all that other depressing ass fucking shit that I really don't care about. And all I'm seeing right now, flashback. Biden explicitly says he he will not pardon his son. What a pardon for Biden Hunter means. Morning news, now full broadcast, December 2nd, with fucking a picture of Biden and Hunter right there. Trump calls
Well,
pardon
you
for
have
Hunter
to think,
Biden a miscarriage of justice. Go ahead. There's more, but go ahead.
that Rogan doesn't do quote unquote interviews per se. He just sits across the table from a person and talks.
Yeah, I was gonna say
And
it's more like he's
maybe,
just sitting there bullshitting with people, kind of.
he tends to get way more depth out of somebody than like a news interview.
Well, yeah, the whole point of like sitting there and bullshitting with him is kind of to lower your defenses a little bit, ain't it? Not in a bad
Yeah, run
way.
them out of talking points.
Yeah.
And like they had a fairly in-depth bit about the train derailment over there in Palestine, Ohio, and you know what they wanted to do, what he tried to do was get a few $1 million out of the government to test the people in the area, to have a baseline so they could follow them through the next 10, 15 years to see if they developed weird fucking diseases due to being exposed to the chemicals there. And the government's like, meh, don't give a shit about them.
Typical government L.
Yeah. He said, but you can bet that the next time we see one of these, if we do, and I'm in office, we're gonna fucking do it. And at this point, he's wealthy enough that he could front his own fucking money to do it. Trump certainly could.
Shit, I gotta tune this. Sorry, I'm scrolling right now. I can't fucking, I'm gonna have to type in Rogan Vance. Alright, there we go. Okay, 3 hours and 17 minutes and 21 seconds.
Yep.
Watch
It's
it.
about that long with Trump.
Save it to watch later. I'll start listening to it when I gotta fucking run later on. I'll listen to.
Vance was more interesting to listen to by a pretty good stretch than Trump was. Although it was pretty good. I mean, I had a bit of a different view on Trump after that.
Like he was more of a regular person kind of thing.
Yeah, you got uh, a view of things that interest him, and it's kind of strange. You know, when he moved into the White House, he went and explored the place. He was fascinated with the Lincoln bedroom. And to hear him describe it, you'd think, you know, it's the Lincoln bedroom, but it's still a fucking bedroom. I mean, what the fuck would fascinate you about that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And wasn't Lincoln's bedroom like every other president's bedroom as well? Or did they block
Well,
that
there's
off?
some weird shit, but they had to make Lincoln a special bed because he was 6'6",
Yeah.
and you know, I suppose kind of obvious when you look at it. And then the Gettysburg Address, the original one Lincoln read, laminated to the desk table, I think, or the bed table.
Was it like everything in there was giant sized?
No, actually, this furniture you sat on was pretty short, low to the ground.
And Lincoln had to get his squats
You know,
in.
but I reckon.
I was also saying Rogan has like a fireside chat style. I guess I could see that. I've never sat through an entire interview, but I could see
It's
it.
to hear him speak to a politician. It's pretty interesting if you're interested in the politician
Right.
because you get to find out shit that no one else gets him to speak of.
God, is there nothing going on in gun news? Look at this. This is fucking the smoking gun evidence that could finally prove the princes in the tower were murdered. What the fuck else is going on? Prince Edward and Richard disappeared from the tower in London in 1483. Who gives a fuck? I mean, I'm sure there is somebody out there that gives a fuck, but I've been studying the princes my whole life. Gun
And
off.
only now find out Smith and Wesson was responsible.
God damn. Well, 14, wouldn't that be Colt? Smith and Wesson was around in the 14s.
Colt wasn't either.
Oh no. What was it? A zip gun? Who who the fuck is making guns back then?
I don't. I don't know that anybody was making guns that far back. I think a gun was a thing in the mid 15s, and they were like those fucking cannon pole things.
Yeah, didn't China fucking invent that shit? Was it
They
China or
invented
Japan?
gunpowder. China invented gunpowder, black powder.
Well, yeah, but once you invent that, I mean, the projectile is just like fucking the next step, ain't it?
So they made fireworks.
But if you give it to,
They're like, fuck gun technology. We're gonna make rocket technology instead.
first
I don't know.
gun,
As far as I can remember, it's like mid 1500s that the actual firearm came to being.
yeah, there was the proto gun. First
I don't know
firearm.
when the first lock would have came into being to actually make it a fucking gun.
Gunpowder was invented in China during the 9th century. The first firearm was the fire lance, which was invented in China between the 10th and 12th century.
Never heard that.
How is it? Uh, how is it between? That's a hell of a gap. It was invented between either the 10th or 12th century. Isn't that 200 years? It's a hell of a gap.
I
It might have been.
Well, there's probably differing opinions that can't be proven either way.
Ah, okay,
So
I
they
see.
just put the gap.
1364. Since the introduction of black powder around 1250, cultures have been finding ways to create and improve firearms. The very first firearm that have been discovered are hand cannons that date back to 1364. That's too
I didn't
small.
realize it was that early.
That's a real small. I would figure like what the fuck were those things called where you could just shove anything in a blunderbuss?
Blunderbuss
Yeah, I would figure that would have been like the first thing.
and the hand cannon was that. They didn't make bullets at that time. They shoved rocks and shit.
Oh,
I didn't realize it was that fucking early. I thought it was mid 1500s.
there's a better picture of it.
Scotty,
Scotty! That should have been a fucking. We should have brought Guess That Gun back with this one. 1364. But that would have gave it away too, though. That's the first Google search. Gun in 1364 hand cannon would have probably came up. All right, I'm
it
satisfied.
didn't look like that. That's a Philadelphia Derringer, which I can see how you'd mistake that as a hand cannon. If you've ever shot one, you'd get it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that does look like kind of a small bore to just like what are you shoving a couple of pebbles in there maybe? Chinese fire lance. I'd like to own one of those, a bamboo
Probably,
tube.
probably, pour them like, you know what river sand is?
River sand? No. What's
Yeah,
that?
it's
Gravel?
sand mixed with pretty fine gravel.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Like when we went panning for gold and shit. That kind of shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you can buy that. Like if you're putting a driveway or something in, you want a base that'll pack good. That river sand is that.
Does it? Well, it's fine gravel, so it would almost be like getting hit with birdshot, kind of.
Yeah,
I'm trying to look. Was there any
that
like
hand cannon. Well,
velocities? There, nothing
no
was like
shit,
really
no.
recorded. Okay, yeah.
I don't believe that they'd had a way to measure velocities.
They didn't have a
for a
chronograph back
couple
in the
hundred
10th
years.
century?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Look up how they originally measured firearm velocity. Fucking kind of unreal to understand the process.
Didn't they do it how, what was that guy with the spear? How they would fucking measure how fast, or arrows? They would have one guy stand at the other side of the thing or something like that and count? I think you were telling me that.
They were with guns. They would shoot a strip of material, like kind of like a strip of tape, but it wasn't tape, and they would measure how much it arced, and some way measured the time of its arc, and do calculations to figure out muzzle energy and muzzle velocity, or velocity at that particular point, energy at that point. And there was a couple other things that they did it too that were really fucking complex. And you think, how these fuckers think of this shit?
Well, this. I just put an old way, and it's put the quote old way, like I'm a fucking idiot, of measuring a gun's velocity or speed of its bullet was primarily through a device called a ballistic pendulum, which involved firing a bullet into a suspended block of wood, then calculating the bullet's velocity based on how much the block swung upwards after impact. This method was
Did I
considered.
not just describe that?
Yeah, you don't know. I'm not disputing you. I'm reading the actual
I'm
thing.
just kidding.
But yeah, that's fucking very
Yeah, it's
unreliable
funny the
though.
shit I fucking keep in my head.
Well, that's unreliable though because I mean you can get a 22 Magnum that's flying faster than a 45 ACP, but the 45 ACP is gonna knock the fucking block way higher than the fucking 22 would.
Right, but the weight of the bullet's calculated into that to figure it out. It's a fucking long, damn drawn out equation. That's what I say. How the fuck did they figure this shit out? And it was, from all accounts I seen, accurate. But
So
bear in mind, they were probably not doing anything above 1,500 feet per second. You know, back then, everything was running, six, 800 to 1,200 feet per second. 15 would have been fucking rocket.
yeah, it's saying here the muzzle velocity of a musket ball can vary depending on the type of musket, its caliber, and other factors, but generally ranges from 250 to 500 meters per second, which are here are some examples of a musket ball muzzle velocity. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, that's 750 to 1,500 feet per second.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're 3/4 inch diameter ball with 45-inch barrel had a muzzle
You can almost,
velocity of 1425 to 1700. 45-inch barrel. Jesus Christ, they were wagging around some fucking big guys back then.
yeah, my first flintlock had I think 42.
Jesus. Now, why was it that long for a reason or just because? Like, did they do
To
that just
get
so it could burn all the powder?
That was the main reason, yes. Uh, you could put a slower rifling twist in it too and get a more stable ball. I
Scotty,
swear I read this fucking article right before we came online.
what a coinky dink.
No shit.
Scotty said Tony invented that device. I think by the time Tony got into guns, they had chronograph.
Yeah. Hell, I got a current that I've never used.
I need to. Yeah. I've always mauled back and forth getting one, but no real reason.
I,
The
they're
box
not
tells me.
super. They're not super necessary until you're trying to tailor ammo for a rifle.
Now that, yeah,
Handguns, yeah, maybe you want to know how fast it's going because of hollow point expansion, but I don't fucking shit. I'm not super into caring about the expansion. I'm caring about poking a fucking hole in the motherfucker.
yeah, yeah. Shot placement is a lot more important than expansion.
I first started carrying 380. I was carrying fucking jacketed round nose,
Well, yeah.
regular fucking ball aim.
Well, with 3.8, when you're going, yeah, you want to just make sure that it at least fucking penetrates.
Now, with a little bit more understanding of gunpowder and better varieties of gunpowder, all right, expansion can be achieved easy, but still ain't my main concern. Mikey said he didn't invent it, but he remembers when it was new. Yeah, well, Mikey is older than
Just by a hair.
a second, because all that matters is making it back.
Alright, on that note, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Time to make my lonely way to Vegas.
What the hell do you do down there? I meant to ask.
I told you already, I got that fucking free month of classes.
What are you learning?
Um,
Trying to learn.
pretty much running for the first fucking hour of it, and then grappling techniques. Which sounds gay, but it's not as gay as you would think.
Don't think it sounds gay. I'm
No, I know. I know.
kind of curious why old man wants to learn how to fight,
You
especially
know,
old man that knows guns.
I got that. Yeah, right. I got that. I had that fight and I lost it, and they offered me classes, and I just said, "Fuck it, why not? Something to do." But this is actually either my last week or my second to last week, so after this, we can run this motherfucker until the mid afternoons if you wanted to.
Probably not.
We could definitely extend it a little longer though, for sure. Because I
I
know.
still remember them 6 hour videos that really fucking sucked.
Oh my God, some of them were fucking 8 hours. I couldn't sit through the whole thing and re-listen to them like this. That's for sure. Two
Well, it
hours
was
is
fucking
my
harder
limit.
to listen to them bastards than to do them.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. Have a good week, everybody. We will see you again Monday for possibly maybe a little extended cut. Never know.
Well, I'll actually try to look some stuff up then.
Yeah, I might do the same.
I've been busy this week, actually. I finish up all Christmas shopping. Had to put brakes on the back of the truck.
Yeah, I usually do all my research like 3 minutes before the show.
I usually try to write down ideas. You know, I'm watching a YouTube video or something that sparks an idea. I write it down. I didn't run across any of that this week. I hadn't been watching videos either.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good one.
We will see you next week for sure. Bye bye.